Hey guys, Matt here from Trident Disabilities, and today I'm going to be starting the Storytime series here on the Trident Disabilities YouTube page. I wanted to start this series for a little while, but to start up the series, I wanted to make sure that we had some other series started and going and everything like that, making sure that we're getting the disability voices out there that want to be out there, and making sure people know that Trident is a place they can be heard. And Trident is a place where they can talk about their disability experiences. Right now, we have the Disability and Art series up, and we also have the Parenthood series up. And we have two videos that should be coming pretty soon. I'm working on editing them right now, and they'll be for two other series. One's going to be with Chad Boughton for our Disability and Gaming series, and I'm excited for that one. And the other one is going to be with another friend of mine, and I'm going to leave that one as a surprise. Okay, so today's story time is about my former ESE teacher, Mr. McCrary. Now, he helped me with a lot of stuff, and there's going to be a lot of videos probably discussing the different things that he helped me with and the different things that he did for everyone. Now, he pretty much helped everyone that he could. He helped all of us in his ESE classes, and any student who is really just struggling or just needed something, whether that be school supplies or help on a math problem or writing something or anything that you could possibly imagine a student would need, he was there to always help. And I really appreciate that. And when I got into that high school, for the first 2 years, I was at two different high schools. But for my last two, I was at this high school. And when I finally got there and I started learning about my accommodations and I could do all these different things, they had me do a period of his class where I would use it as kind of a study hall and go in there and get some work done, and help me to keep up with my classes and stuff like that, because things took me a little bit longer to read. And then also it give me like a little home base, which is why I eventually used it as. Most of the time I'd go into my class for 10, 20 minutes, and then leave after that with my work and go to his class, because a lot of times we were doing in-class activities or group activities, or there's PowerPoints up or different things that I couldn't see, and I would just be sitting there for 30 minutes not knowing what's going on, and I'd be wasting time. I could be doing studying or doing various other things. He also did all my different testing, so when I had AP testing at the end of the year, and then there was another teacher who we'll get into who did testing for like our quizzes and exams and things like that. So that'll be a different video as well. But the video today, we're going to be talking about my graduation and what he did to help me with that. One of the things he did that really helped me with my graduation was to help with some fears I had. One of the fears I had was that I would fall off the stage. And the other one was that if I didn't fall off the stage or do something, to try to accommodate for that, I would kind of be singled out of everyone. And I really didn't want that. Now, there was a couple potential different ways they could just do things so I wouldn't fall off the stage. One, they could just have the principal come down. The stage was on a football field, and it was a platform, and then there was two staircases on either side, one to go up and then one to go off. And then all the chairs were out facing towards the stage, and then of course the parents and stuff were all the way around, watching their kids and grandkids and everything like that graduate. But my graduating class was over 400 people. So there's a lot of people there, and a lot knew about my disability, but a lot didn't. And I was also new to cane training. So for orientation and mobility, I had a mobility cane, and I was still learning that. And the stage was so small that by the time my cane would have alerted me that I'm falling off, I would be falling off with my cane. Because mobility canes are very outstretched, and they're supposed to be a huge radius around you to inform you before you hit things, and to let you know what's all the way around you. But with a small stage, it really doesn't work super well. So he either overheard me talking to someone about it, or him and I directly talked about it. But either way, he started working on it and started figuring out some ideas. And the first idea he had, he came to me and he said, "Hey Matt, what if we have all of the teachers shake your hand as you're going up the stage? And then I'll kind of figure it out from there." And I said, "That'd be great. As long as I don't stick out too much and, I'm not going to fall off or whatever, that'd be great." So what happened was it got to my name on graduation day, and we had to go up the stage, get our diploma, shake hands with the principal while we were doing that, and then go back down the other way, take our photo, and then go all the way back around to our seat, which you had 400 seats out there, 400 plus seats out there, and sit down and watch everyone else go through. And so I went up, and because of my last name, I was one of the first up there. And he had me go up, and I heard him talk to someone, and then a bunch of teachers came down, and each one of them was on different steps, and then they were all lined up on the stage as well, up until I hit the principal. And then I don't know where he was in that line, but I know he eventually was at the end, because when I walked up, each one shook my hand, helped me up the next step, and made sure that if I was leaning away or something like that, they were pulling me in with the handshake. And then we got to the principal, and the principal shook my hand, said some things to me. I got my diploma, all that kind of stuff. And then we walked down, and Mr. McCrary was right behind the principal. So he walked me all the way down the next steps, helped me with my photo, where to look and everything like that. And then he walked me all the way to my seat, because the other thing that was kind of scary was that where I go back to sit. Now I could technically just sit anywhere, and it probably wouldn't cause too much of a stir, but that would just look odd, obviously, if I'm just sitting in the middle of nowhere. And finding my own row would be very difficult. Not everybody was like on pace with everything, and people were kind of going in different areas. So, it was very confusing and very stressful to find where I'm going. And so he took me to my row, and he talked to one of the teachers to make sure that I got in my row and everything like that, and then he walked back up there. But he was part of graduation planning, and he was usually pretty instrumental in doing a lot of different things. So he was kind of going all the way around, but he took time to do that for me. And the reason why this is so impactful to me today, now looking back, being singled out probably wasn't the worst thing in the whole entire world. But at the time when you're going through graduation, you don't want to be the only one there. And I'm sure even people with or without disabilities have fears that they're going to fall or do something and embarrass themselves at graduation. And those are rational fears in the time, right? This is a very important moment to you in your life, and it indicates the next step in your life. But now looking back, it was not the biggest deal ever. But to me, it was at the time. And the fact that someone who was an adult, who probably knew that this is not going to be a big deal to you later on, took the time to make sure I felt comfortable, to make sure I got where I need to go, to make sure I didn't stand out. By having people shake my hand, I didn't stand out because there was already teachers and stuff standing at the top shaking everyone else's hand. There was just a couple more that he had on so that I could go all the way through. And so I didn't stick out at all. And there was probably very easy solutions he could have done that would have still made me stick out, and still would have kind of made me different from everyone else. And now I love that difference, and I embrace that difference. And there are struggles with that difference sometimes still too. But at the time, no one really wants to be different in high school and stuff like that, even when you're leaving. And to Mr. McCrary, happy birthday, for starters. And also, I just want to thank you for the time over the years that you have just helped me tremendously. You have done more for me than a lot of people in my life. And I know both my parents appreciate for you always looking out for me. Maybe sometimes you snitching on me if I wasn't doing an assignment, or whatever. But you just always were there for me, and you always just helped me with whatever I needed. And I know a lot of your students feel the same way that I do. I know a lot of us talk about the different things that you've done over the years to help us. And we, reminisce on like fun moments where we'd mess around in your class or talk or do something crazy. And I know like you'd tell me and Hannah to go do our work or to stop bothering the other students by talking or something crazy, which we probably were always doing. Um, but you never did it in a way that like wasn't kind or wasn't for our best interest or anything like that. You always just helped us, and you helped us with our homework. You helped us with life lessons. But I think one of the biggest things that you helped us with that I think a lot of teachers forget about, and I think a lot of administrators forget about, is that you helped us be people. You just taught us that we were people, and you showed us that we were people, and you showed us that we weren't any different from anyone else. You showed us that because you're blind or because you're in a wheelchair or whatever your disability might be, it doesn't mean that you can't do what everyone else does. It doesn't mean that because you do things different than everyone else that you are different from everyone else. Or if we were different from everyone else, you at the very least taught us that that diversity was a big thing and that being different wasn't always bad. In a lot of ways, we could see things different from a lot of people, and we could do things different than a lot of people, which, made us unique in a way. And, I've seen the amount of work and effort and things that you've done to go above and beyond for your students over the years. And I just absolutely appreciate all of it. And I look up to you. And I'm sure your own son looks up to you greatly because he's doing great things in the world. But this was just a little personal message to you. And I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I hope you have a great rest of your birthday.